Hi. So, my battery died and now it's the next day. What? I'm not talking to you. Right. Dogs are getting excited. Okay. So it's the next day, my battery died and now we're going to continue. Oh yeah. So she's snuck into the house without John. Oh, she can hear footsteps upstairs. Here we go. I found an old rug on the sofa when I walked in the lounge. I picked it up, hoping Mrs. Tibbs wouldn't mind if I borrowed it. Why the bloody hell does she want a rug? I found I was also shaking as I reached the top of the stairs. I looked round. Mrs. Tibbs' bedroom door was open. I quietly sneaked up to the door and slowly lowered my head into the room. The baddie, as I liked to call him, was pestering around in Mrs. Tibbs' drawers. Why is it always the old women that hide it the hardest? Apparently he's very tall and heavily built, this man. And it's 1:37 AM in the morning at the moment. Are you excited, Rosie? Are you? I'm going to find out what happens next. Are you excited? Are you? Look! Are you going to read it with me? Shall we read it? As the bad guy looked around, he started to walk towards me. I was hoping he was going out the door beside me, but he didn't. Instead, he decided to get down on all fours. Wait, get off my book, you! Instead, he decided to get down on all fours and started stooping around for something. Just then, a sudden crash. It was so loud Mrs. Tibbs woke up screaming. The stranger stood up, panic in his eyes, then took something out of his pocket. A gun! Dum dum dum! Pattering him up the stairs, I imagined straight away it was the police. Imagined is spelt A-M-A-G-E-N-E-D. The two policemen and sergeant appeared at the doorway, horror and shock all over their faces. Now there, Sonny, he said, holding his hand out. Don't do anything stupid, give me the gun. That's great police work right there. I decided to tiptoe quietly back into the moor shade. What the bloody hell is a moor shade? I don't know. I didn't want the gunman to see me. C-S-E-A. The second officer saw me, but didn't take notice. Just gave a slight smile and nodded as if to say, alright. There's a man with a gun in the room and he's smiling at this little girl like it's an everyday, hiya, are you alright, how you doing? So the policemen carry on trying to get the gun off the guy. Oh, and then John's appeared. He stood there for a minute as if he were thinking. His eyebrows frowned. But then I could tell he thought of something. His eyebrows raised high. It's all in the eyebrows, people. All in the eyebrows. He looked at the man's gun. When he turned his head in my direction again, he nodded at me and then past me. They all like nodding at her. Everyone's noticed her at the moment apart from the gunman. I turned around and saw a metal object. Then, when I looked harder, I noticed it was a stool leg. I looked at John again and he then nodded. Again, with the nodding. Everyone's nodding. The bad guy was still threatening the officers. Then John pointed at himself and moved two of his fingers into a figure puppet. What the fuck? As if it were running. Oh, he was doing that, I think. I understood him perfectly. Well, I'm glad you did, because I didn't. Then John ran up the stairs and got to the door. Please, mister, don't hurt my gran. Of course she weren't his gran, but John was acting. Oh, shut up, you little runt, the bad guy hissed. I was shaking all over, but I was not giving up. I swung the pole around and gave the biggest whack I could. Thud. As soon as I hit him, he fell to the ground, pulling the trigger as he went. Bang! The sharp sound made everyone jump to the ground. I got up, with tears filling my eyes, and stepped back, letting the pole slip through my hand. He looked dead. There was 2 police officers there, and yet apparently it was the kids that saved the day. Oh, next chapter!